Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, you're tuned into the Lions Den, official source of UCCS Sports. I am the sports MC, MJR Jamandi, broadcasting live inside the Gallagher Event Center on the University of Colorado, Colorado Springs campus. And I'm joined, as always, by my partners in crime, the dream team of UCCS Broadcasting. To my left, we have the spectacular Spencer Davis. How are you, sir?
I am spectacular.
Spectacular as always.
Absolutely.
Good answer. And to my right, we got the voice of your UCCS volleyball team and voice of your UCCS basketball teams. Right here, Charlie Bang Bang Butnick. How are you, Charlie?
I'm good, MJ. Went to the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo today, and guess what I saw?
Some animals?
Some mountain lions.
Some mountain lions.
Then saw the lions in their den. So saw the lions den too out there.
That's so cute, Charlie. Oh, how adorable.
You're so punny.
Thank you.
So funny.
I have to work. I have to compete with you too.
Yeah.
It's a
Keep
competition. I'll bring out the hard hat next time.
That's right.
Well, I like to identify these two as the dream team of UCCS Broadcasting. It's not just a cool saying that I came up with, although it is a cool saying that I came up with. But I got to tell you, last night we had Mountain Lion Madness, and these two were the MCs for the evening, and they absolutely killed it. They did such a fantastic job last night, so hats off to you.
Thank you.
Hats off to you.
Appreciate
Great
it.
job, fellas.
Thank
You
you.
hosted that event like professionals, true professionals, and I thought it was a fantastic event. So real quick thoughts on the event from your perspective. You were on the court for most of the time, as were you, Charlie. How did you think the event went? We're going to talk a little bit more at the end of the show as we introduce some of the teams, the two basketball teams. But that was a big event for us here on campus. So what were your thoughts about that event? How did it go?
It was. A lot of people came out, showed up. We had some awesome students that were able to come down and partake in the games, which made it all a lot more fun for us. We had some dancers that pulled out some moves that I don't think have even been invented yet. So that was a lot of fun for us. We got to throw some prizes out and just have a great night with the rest of the Mountain Lions here at Gallagher Event Center. So I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah? What were some of those awesome prizes we were giving away, too? Because I got tagged with some kind of mini basketball. Somebody
Right
just
in the
pegged
head.
me right in the shoulder.
Mini basketballs, T-shirts. We gave away a 40-inch smart TV, a 48-inch smart TV. We gave.
I was hoping there wasn't going to be a winner to that one because I wanted that
Just
one to
walk
go right
away.
into my car.
Well, that's
Yeah.
right. We gave away a monster mini fridge. We
That
gave
was
away
sweet.
ski passes,
Your supply
anything that you
Carl's
could think
Jr.
of. Carl's Jr., DP Doe, and then we gave away $1,000 to a student last night, which was awesome for us to be able to do.
And that student who won $1,000 was inches away from winning $50,000. You
Very
can't
close.
come any closer to winning that kind of an event than you
Yeah.
did. I
No,
mean,
he
he
was
was
very
literally
close.
inches away.
Riled the crowd.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That was so exciting. You see those all the time on ESPN or other networks there where the half-court shot is like a miracle and it goes in. We almost had that live here at Gallagher.
Right behind us.
Yeah,
History
right there.
was almost
Right
made.
there. Charlie, what was your thought? What was your take on the event last night as one of the MCs for Mountain Lion Madness?
As we see the $50,000 shot here, but it was a lot of fun to watch, and it was a lot of just lightheartedness. Got to meet the teams a little bit. Got to see who the teams really were, and then the fun part was the 3-point contest. As he hits that one here, he had about 15 seconds to make this.
Well, real quick, he's got 10 seconds there.
10
If he
seconds,
makes
had
this
one
half-court
try.
shot, he wins $50,000. And look how close he comes. There
Right
it is,
off the-
right
very
off the
close.
front of the rim.
And the men's basketball team just freaking out on
Yeah.
that. But what I really saw from this men's basketball team, women's basketball team had a 3-point shootout, and it was a very close call, but they already look like they're in midseason form. Tim Haas went on a streak, and then Jen Vigil at the end.
She made
from
like
the last three,
15
had
of
4 in
20.
a row, then 3
Yeah.
in a row, and then 4 in a row to finish it off.
Yeah.
So looking in midseason form, and it was just a lot of fun to hear from the players and definitely hear from the new coaches.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that $50,000 contest there, the participant had to make a free throw,
Yep.
a layup,
Yep.
a 3-point shot,
Yep.
and then a half-court shot all in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
He only got one try.
One try at half.
One shot at that half-court shot,
Yep.
but there it is. There's the layup. I guess that's a layup. We counted it as a layup. It was kind of
Free
just
throw
a shot
banked
right
in.
there, but he made it. Made the free throw after a couple of attempts. He got as
This
many
is
as
what
he
this
needed.
is right here where the crowd
This
was
is-
like when he
he had
went
one
back to back.
chance.
Yeah.
Right, and he makes the 3-point. The bank was open late
Right.
last night. He
Yeah.
puts it down, and then he has about, as we said, about 10 seconds here to drain the half-court shot. And Look at this, coming off right off the front of the rim. So that was unbelievably exciting. And again, hats off to you two. Talked about midseason form.
Yeah.
Our MCs were in midseason form.
I hope so.
Just
We've
about.
been doing this for a while
Hopefully.
now.
Yeah, you've been doing it since the start of the semester, so
Exactly.
you should be in
So
midseason
should
form
be.
by now. Yeah, that was really good. But one of the first things we do like to do here on the show is, well, it depends on the day. We like to do Bang Bang's Best. We also like to do
Mondays.
Spectacular Spencer Davis's Spectacular Speculations for the weekend.
Absolutely, and I have those for you right now.
You got them right now?
I do.
Because the millions and millions of listening Lions want them. You know when they want them?
Right now?
Right now.
Right now.
now.
All right, let's get it started then. At number 3, I have to give it to Alex Von Holly. Last game versus South Dakota Mines, he had 3 shots, 1 goal, and 1 assist. He's a force to be reckoned with, and he's just getting better and better each game that he's going through. He's so versatile on that field, being able to play as a defender if he needs to drop back, as well as getting up forward as a striker. He's doing a great job. And number 2 is Bethany Littlefield. We talked a lot about her in the last Lions Den and that cannon that she has. And just booting it 40 yards out, being able to put it on frame a couple times, which is awesome for her as well. She had 1 goal. She has 23 shots on the season, so she is still being able to put it towards the net there. And you came up with a nice phrase that we called last Lions Den. What did you say?
Bend it like Bethany.
Bend it like Bethany.
That's right.
Maybe her and Beckham are like cousins or something.
Yeah, distant cousins.
There we go. All right, and then number 1, as we approach the RMAC championships here for the cross-country teams, I'm going to give it to Aubrey Till. She placed 7th in her last race, top 10 placing most of the races that she's ran this season, and I believe that she's going to end up somewhere in the top 10 during the RMAC championship races this coming week. So I'm looking to keep my eye on her as she comes back, hopefully maybe with an RMAC championship title for the cross-country team, which would be awesome for us.
That's right. They're going to be in action this weekend, so we'll
They
have
are.
the complete results for you on our Monday show. Before we head to our first commercial break, though, I also want to give a shout-out to Jake Christensen, who really did a lot of work to put that Mountain Lion madness into fruition. So he did so much last night to make sure Mountain Lion Madness happened. That went off very successfully, so a lot of hard work for him. And then I also, big shout out to our own Clyde. I really think he is the best mascot in all of the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference.
Yeah, he's
Not
a-
just
yeah.
the Mountain Lion, but we don't want to say who's in the suit, but the person who's in that suit, unbelievable.
There's someone in the suit?
Spoiler alert.
I thought it was
Spoiler
a real
alert.
Mountain Lion.
Yeah, sorry to burst your bubble there, Spencer. We do have a lot to cover here on the Lions Den today. We're going to first start off by recapping what happened with your UCCS men's golf team as they were in Seaside, California a couple days ago for the final tournament of this fall season. So we're going to recap that when we come back right here on the Lions Den.
I finally found the healthcare I've been looking for. It's the UCCS Health Circle Primary Care Clinic across from University Village on North Nevada Avenue. The nurse practitioner managed clinic is a perfect fit. I have a longer appointment, don't feel rushed, and we've created a personal health plan that's really working for me. UCCS Health Circle is more than a provider. They're my new healthcare partner.
We have so much to celebrate and to do. We're especially proud of our commitment to Make-A-Wish.
2 student athletes have led a tender initiative to raise funds and grant wishes of children with life-threatening medical conditions.
Nearly $3 million have been raised, and hundreds of children's wishes have been covered. We play hard, we work hard, and we support others in need. Why? It's simple.
Because we care.
At the University of Colorado, we award more than 15,000 degrees each year. We've developed nearly 2,000 bioscience innovations. Our community programs serve more than 1 million people in Colorado. Our research has created over 150 companies, and we've partnered on more than 75 space missions. We are 4 campuses, united in making a difference. At the University of Colorado, we make quality education accessible to everyone. We award more undergraduate, graduate, and professional degrees than any other university in the state. We reimagine the way communities are designed. And we help people throughout Colorado to be healthier. We are 4 campuses, united in making a difference.
Since 1909, the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference has been a leader in collegiate athletics, with campuses in some of the most scenic areas in the United States. And now in Salt Lake City, Utah, and Rapid City, South Dakota, the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference, competition elevated.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, you're tuned in to the Lions Den, official source of UCCS Sports. So, Spencer.
So, MJ.
We had some action this past week for the
We did.
UCCS men's golf team, the 3-time defending RMAC champions.
Yep.
They put it down this fall. They won last spring,
Did it
and they
again.
won a year ago in the
Yep.
fall. So, three-peating
Yep.
your men's golf team. But they were in action for their final invitational of the fall season as they were in Seaside, California for the Otter Invitational. Why don't you go ahead and tell the millions and millions of listening Lions out there how their team did?
Yeah, absolutely. Playing in Seaside, California, it's always a good time for them to get out there, be able to travel, and it's such a nice place. Colin Prater recorded his 9th top 5 finish of his career, 4th of the season under shooting 1 under 215, which is an excellent job for him. He's still excelling in everything that he's doing. He is that All-American that we all piped up for him to be. He still maintains
All
that
piped
type.
up for the
All piped
All-American.
up. That's right. And then we also have Tanner Combs. He's doing a great job as well. And then we had Colin Prater, him and Ji Zhang actually shot the same score on day 2, which was awesome for them, 2 over 74. So that was good to see Ji Zhang step up and do a great job on the green for him.
Well, and that's got to feel good for him on an individual level
Absolutely.
to compete with Colin Prater. Again, we can't say it enough, the All-American, but he's been really carrying this team from last season into this season. And
Yes.
so now Ji Zhang stepping up, that's going to be quite an improvement for the team as a whole if he can play to the level of Prater.
And I think
forward.
that's something Phil that's really liking is that we have freshmen that are playing up to Colin's standard, and that's just going to make us grow so far in the future. So I see championships coming down, not just because of Colin, because we have a team that can play like Colin when they're freshmen, which is pretty cool for us to see as well.
So how many Petes are we going to have? We have a 3-Pete. Are we going 4-Pete, 5-Pete, 6-Pete?
7.
Is it a
7
Pete still?
Pete?
It's a 7 Pete.
That's a lot of Petes.
I like Pete, and I like championships, so we're going to go 7-Pete championship.
It's a bold prediction there.
That's
Not
right.
2, not 3, not 4.
Not
7.
5, 6. It's going to be 7.
Okay.
All right, that's good.
Okay.
Bold prediction.
Yeah, Zach Bearhouse did really well as well. He cut 9 strokes off his best score and shot a 75 one of the days, which is cool for him. So yeah, we are co-champions now with Mines.
Yeah.
It kind of worked out in a weird way because they won one and we were second, and then we won one and they were second. So we are co-champions, but we are still champions. So that's good.
That was just kind of our charitable act of the season. We were like,
Charity.
well, we're going to share our trophy with Colorado Mines because we've already had it for a whole year here.
That's a good thought to have.
Mountain
Yeah.
Lions, so nice, so nice.
Yeah.
Sharing is caring.
I believe that, and
Yeah.
I believe that all mountain lions are sharing and carrying. And Charlie saw at the zoo today, right?
Yeah, they were sharing a lot of food.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Did you get some?
Oh no, but just putting a little taste on this. Like you were saying, I was going to mention that point that Tanner
Sure.
Combs and Zhang, they're freshmen, and I think Coach Trujillo is like really focused and thinks this is a good stepping stone because we're not going to have Colin Prater in a couple of years, and you have these freshmen who are learning.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's some hard shoes to fit, but they're doing very well already, and as freshmen, already stepping up. So definitely a good sight to see. And who wouldn't want to come play for the RMAC championship team? Like being a recruiter, and that's one of the biggest things to recruit, that we have won the RMAC championship now multiple times. So
Right.
definitely a thought right there.
And I think a lot of people don't know, but Colin is just a junior. He's a redshirt junior, so he still has a whole nother year to be able to be around this team if he wants to.
That's another 3-Pete that could happen before he even graduates.
So that's
that's
6.
6 of your 7 Petes.
Right, and then you have the freshman coming in that's going to take over those shoes. There's your 7.
Okay.
You like that?
Okay,
That's
sure.
good.
I
It's
do.
good math. It's my statistics class coming in again.
Oh my.
How'd you do on that test last week?
I did a fantastic. So yeah, I think falling into that, I think that our whole golf program is doing fantastic, men's and women's.
Yeah.
So good for our coaches to be able to carry that team and give them strides that we've never been able to see in this program before. So that's awesome.
Sure, and Charlie, I think you hit on a very salient point. That oftentimes one thing has to fall first. Teams start winning, good players want to come to a winning program. When you have good players, the program will win.
Yeah.
And so now this golf team has clearly established themselves as a force in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. And so as good as this team is, I would even imagine it's going to get that much better and
I agree.
that much more depth moving forward.
Yeah, and I know taking this winter off, they're going to take some time off, work on their stroke play, maybe adjust their swings a little bit if they need to. Now's the time to do that, because you can't really do that mid-season. And then they'll come back in the spring and hopefully get another Pete and get another championship, especially, if we have the same guys that we're going to carry out with this team. We're going to do well in the spring as well.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
Couldn't say it any better. And like you said, winning these championships and, with the men's basketball team winning the RMI championship, the women's basketball team, going to the NCAA tournament, you always saw those recruits really putting that factor on there. And I can see with golf too, and especially with men's golf, but also women's golf.
Yeah.
Second in the RMAC championship, unfortunately losing, but saying this is our 4th year, we're still a growing program that we can already achieve this level.
Yeah.
Why not come here?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simple enough.
Simple enough. It's as easy as that. Well, we do have a lot more to cover here on the Lions Den. When we come back, we're going to preview the UCCS soccer games for this upcoming weekend, starting first with the UCCS men's soccer team, as they will be on the road for 2 very crucial games starting tomorrow night and then into Sunday. We'll preview that and a whole lot more when we come back right after this.
At the University of Colorado, we make quality education accessible to everyone. We award more undergraduate, graduate, and professional degrees than any other university in the state. We reimagine the way communities are designed, and we help people throughout Colorado to be healthier. We are 4 campuses, united in making a difference. At the University of Colorado, we award more than 15,000 degrees each year. We've developed nearly 2,000 bioscience innovations. Our community programs serve more than 1 million people in Colorado. Our research has created over 150 companies, and we've partnered on more than 75 space missions. We are 4 campuses, united in making a difference.
We have so much to celebrate in Division II, but we're especially proud of our commitment to Make-A-Wish.
Division II student athletes have led a 10-year initiative to raise funds and help grant wishes of children with life-threatening medical conditions.
Nearly $3 million have been raised, and hundreds of children's wishes have been granted. We play hard, we work hard, and we support others in need. Why? It's simple.
Because we care.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, you're tuned into the Lions Den, official source of UCCS Sports. Your UCCS men's soccer team going to be in action on the road this weekend as they travel to play Westminster and Colorado Mesa in what will certainly be a pivotal 2 games as they near the end of the regular season. Currently sitting in 3rd place,
Alexandra Zender of UCCS Athletics. Joining me today from the men's soccer team is Derek Sun.
And move up that rank. The top 2 teams get a bye in the first round. Teams 3 and 4 will host in the first round. So that's the goal, either to become 1st or 2nd to get that bye, or 3rd or 4th to get that home game. So right now your Mountain Lions sitting at 8-5-1 overall, 7-3 in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference, with one of their opponents this weekend sitting on top of all of the conference. Colorado Mesa has yet to lose in conference play, 9-0-1, 10-1-3 overall. So a very tough opponent. And then their other game against Westminster, on paper, Charlie, that looks like the game that I think they have the much easier time with. Because Westminster comes in 3-10 overall, 2-8 in the RMAC.
Well, you know, we've already played Westminster before. It was September 16th, and we won 3-0. So definitely have seen them before, know what we're going into for that one. And with Westminster right now, they are outscored at 33-13 in goals this season. So definitely a tough one, but like we always say, records really don't mean anything in the RMAC. Any team can beat anyone on any given day, and especially for this Colorado Mesa game. That is the biggest game. I know Westminster comes first and they're focused on that one, but that Colorado Mesa game, if they can pull out that victory and somehow, you know, with the RMAC, a lot of teams, you can win, you can lose, again, any given day. Right. So it really depends. That they're holding their fate in their own hands, playing Colorado Mesa, and already played Regis, went 1-1 there. So they hold their own fate, but that Colorado Mesa game will be a big one. And if they can take them down, the first time in the RMAC this season, it'd be a lot of fun. And we've seen it before.
Well, when Regis was ranked 5th in the nation, their first loss came to UCCS. Yep. So the Mountain Lions, at least in recent memory, have been giving those teams those losses. So that's really good to see. Spencer, you called the action. You were announcing that soccer game a few weeks ago when the Mountain Lions hosted Westminster and won 3-0. In that game, it was Court Searles with 2 goals and then Jake Demarath with the other 3rd goal to give UCCS a 3-0 advantage, which is what they would need to get that win. What do you recall from that game? What do you remember from that first meeting that really helped the Mountain Lions to victory?
Yeah, I think during that game, a lot of things were happening. They'd be able to make those assists and those connections off the strikers, but the defense actually had a heck of a game, I remember, during that. Because even though we look at the record and we say, oh, we're going to be able to do really well versus Westminster, they came in and they were actually a force to be reckoned with. But we had Dave. But we
reckoned with them.
We did. Dave had an awesome game. Aaron Hafner had an awesome game. Derek Saunier had an awesome game. And I think that the defense actually helped more in that game than the offense. Not that the offense didn't have anything to do with it, but I don't think that we were going into that game expecting him to be such a force from the front side. And I think that coming in this time on our own or away at their field, they're going to have that chip on that shoulder that we keep talking about. So we might see that again. So I think the defense is going to have to definitely be prepared. Even though we look at a record of 2-8 in the RMAC. But the defense, I feel, is going to need to step up in this game because they're going to want to score some goals on us.
Well, if they got a chip on the shoulder, it's as simple as this, Spencer. The chip is gone, and then we're going to get the win one more time. A couple of players, though, to look out for Westminster. Their leading goal scorer is number 50, Christian Alfaro, with 4 goals, 3 assists. So he does a little bit of everything. Number 5, Jaden Olsen with 2 goals on the season. Number 9, Connor Thompson with 2 goals. And then number 27, Preston McEllis with 2 goals on the season. So a couple of players and names to look out for. On paper, again, we always say on paper, but coming into the weekend, that does look like the matchup that UCCS should have the easier time with. You mentioned Colorado Mesa, a very tough opponent. Because we were on the other side of that winning spectrum when we played them, we lost 3-0 in that game. In that game, it was number 9, Roy Abergill with 2 goals, and number 25, Andres Delgadillo with 1 goal. That number 9, though, Roy Abergill, 19 goals on the season. Charlie, that's pretty impressive. And one more really salient statistic, I think. Colorado Mesa, the Mavericks have outscored their opponents 32-9 on the season. So far and away better on the scoring side of things. Charlie, what's your take on that game?
It's that First game was a little bit. I have to give credit to Colorado Mesa. They are an excellent team.
Absolutely.
But David Meyer wasn't what David Meyer is right now. And David Meyer, every game, has been picking up his level of play and his way of, doing everything for this team just in that goal box. He's a leader. He can stop, almost anything. So definitely he's going to be probably the biggest factor against Colorado Mesa. And, with Roy Aberrell, 19 on this season, the UCCS men's soccer team knows that. So definitely going to have to put 2, maybe 3 defenders on him at all times and really keep him out of the game. So it'll definitely be an interesting one to see. But again, on the road, and honestly, the UCCS men's soccer team has been better on the road with beating Regis on the road and, playing all these national teams on the road and competing with them. So it's definitely been an interesting one, and I'm very excited to watch that. And also Westminster.
Well, I think you bring up another great point, Charlie. I think it's going to be defense that will help us to victory in both of these games. And speaking of defense, our very own Alexandra Zender met up with Derek Saunier of your UCCS men's soccer team for a pregame interview. Let's go ahead and cut to that interview now and get Derek's thought as one of the primary defenders for your men's soccer team.
Yay. Derek, how has your week been so far?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you. As a defender on the field, it's your job to keep the ball away from the goal area. What is the key to getting stops as a defender and protecting your goalkeeper?
It's a back line of 4, depends on what formation you play. So defending the ball against the goal is a huge thing. That's what wins you games, basically. We have Dave Myers, goalie, Alex as well, and Scott. So, defense is what wins you games in my eyes. It's a big part of the game. So stopping the ball, going to the goal is what your goal is, basically, as a defender, as well as attacking. So it just depends. It's a huge aspect of the game, like I said. So, the main job for the defenders and the team is to not people score against us.
And in the backfield along with you, there's Aaron Hafner, Casey Collins, Antonio Roble, and many others. How do you guys communicate in the backfield?
It's very crucial. I'm a quiet person, and so is Aaron Hafner. So it's kind of difficult, but we've definitely stepped up this year. Been playing center back for 3 years now for the school. It's a big part of the back line is to communicate with the people in front of you, because it makes the job easier. People in front of you, if you communicate with them, it makes your job easier as a defender. That's kind of what our coaching staff has told us to do, is communicate on the field and off the field. We have subs that come on and they also do the job of communicating, whether they step in the back line or midfield or forwards. So it's a big, crucial thing to the game, is to talk and communicate with your team.
And as a senior this year, what do you want to teach the underclassmen to take over next year, since they will be stepping in your shoes?
Just to be like a role model for them. They can come to me off the field or on the field with problems they have. I'm from Southern California, so whether I end up there after my 4 years or stay here, they can come to me with anything they have, whether it's soccer-related questions, family-related questions, school-related questions. Just depends. I want to be the guy that they can come to and open and honest questions, provide feedback that they can take in their life and for the future.
And as living in California, my mom does come to watch you play at Mountain Lion Stadium. How does it feel to be able to play in front of her your last year?
It feels good. My parents have been supporters since day one, even in high school all the way to college. So it's been a big, important thing. And my parents and my 2 sisters always come out and watch me. So it's been a good thing that they can be there, even though they live in California. So I'm very grateful and appreciative that they can come out and watch me play.
Well, on this Friday, you play Westminster once again. Are you going to change your game plan since you've already played them, or are you just going to play the game that you guys know how to play?
Just play how we know how to play. I think that's the most important part, is that everyone's focused and ready to play. Luckily, we're flying there on Thursday, so we don't have to sit in a bus for however long that trip is. But, just that we're all focused as a team, and we have a game plan and we stick to it. Whether it's direct or indirect, we all have to be on the same page. And as long as we're a team, we're on the same page, I think we'll get a good result.
Well, good luck to you and the team on this Friday. Alexandra Zender once again with Derek Saunier. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Mountain Lions needing just 1 win in the remaining 4 games of the regular season to clinch a playoff spot. We do anticipate them getting more than just 1 win to clinch that spot, though. I would predict they're going to get that here this weekend, whether it is tomorrow night or Sunday, or probably both. I think they're going to get at least 1 win this weekend on the road to clinch that spot. Again, Westminster tomorrow night, or tomorrow afternoon, I should say, at 3 o'clock, and then Colorado Mesa on Sunday at 1. We'll be sure to have the complete results for you on our Monday show right here on the Lions Den. But we do have more to cover When we come back, we're going to talk UCCS women's soccer, as they're also going to be on the road this weekend with 4 games remaining in the regular season. So we'll preview those matchups when we come back right here on the Lions Den.
Success comes from UCCS, from believing in yourself, from supportive faculty, from trying new things. Success comes from discovering your passion, from being fearless, from those around you. Success comes from UCCS. Apply online at uccs.edu.
Since 1909, the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference has been a leader in collegiate athletics, with campuses in some of the most scenic areas in the United States. And now in Salt Lake City, Utah and Rapid City, South Dakota, the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference, competition elevated.
At the University of Colorado, we make quality education accessible to everyone. We award more undergraduate, graduate, and professional degrees than any other university in the state. We reimagine the way communities are designed, and we help people throughout Colorado to be healthier. We are 4 campuses, united in making a difference. At the University of Colorado, we award more than 15,000 degrees each year. We've developed nearly 2,000 bioscience innovations. Our community programs serve more than 1 million people in Colorado. Our research has created over 150 companies, and we've partnered on more than 75 space missions. We are 4 campuses, united in making a difference.
We have so much to celebrate in Division II, but we're especially proud of our commitment to Make-A-Wish.
Division II student athletes have led a 10-year initiative to raise funds and help grant wishes of children with life-threatening medical conditions.
Nearly $3 million have been raised, and hundreds of children's wishes have been granted. We play hard, we work hard, and we support others in need. Why? It's simple.
Because we care.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, you're tuned in to the Lions Den, official source of UCCS Sports. Your UCCS men's soccer team, not the only soccer team here at UCCS in action over the weekend. The women's team also trying to make one final playoff push. If the season ended today, unfortunately, they'd be on the outside looking in. We love those ladies just the same. But they still have 4 games remaining, and if they can win all 4 of those, depending on what else happens in the standings, they definitely still have a chance. Mathematically, they are not eliminated yet. They can still catch some steam, catch some stride, go on a streak, and make the playoffs. It's going to be tough, I'm not going to lie, on the road this weekend against MSU, Denver, and Regis, both teams sitting above them in the standings. Right now, Regis sitting at 5-7-2 overall, 5-3-1 in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. MSU, Denver, a couple places ahead, sitting in 7th place. So they're on the bubble right now as well. Yep. So we know they're going to play pretty fierce as well. 5-4-4 overall, 4-3-2 in the conference. But again, sitting in that 7th spot, I can anticipate we're going to see the best of the Roadrunners this weekend, along with the Rangers, because they're all vying for playoff spots. Right. Spencer, what's your take before we come to Charlie to get his thoughts? What do you think the women are going to do on the road? Tough matchups. They certainly can still do it.
They do. I mean, you always have that idea that, the season's not over till it's over. And, I really liked what Nicole did in the last game, and we talked about it a little before. We moved some people around, by putting Sammy Brown on the outside back, moving Freeze back to the middle back.
And Brown had a spectacular,
she had a great game.
To steal your nickname, a spectacular defensive play at the end of that game.
Whoa.
Sorry, didn't mean to step on your toes.
That's fine.
It was a good play.
Sparkling.
Okay.
That's cool. I like that. Sparkling Sammy Brown's game. Right?
Okay, perfect.
But we had some great midfielders from Bethany Littlefield had a great game. Dre had a great game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we found some things that I think might work, and I think if we try to do that again tomorrow versus MSU, I think if we try it and it works, we should stay with it for the rest of the season. Just to see, we're finishing it out. We're obviously on the cusp of things. We're trying to fight and claw our way into the playoffs. But even if we can't get there, there's still some things that we can try. Use the last 4 games that we have to figure things out, even for next year. As I said, even if this is a building season, we want to learn as much as we can while we can. So it'll be a fun weekend. They do have a lot of work to do. They have a lot of fighting to do, especially with going in there against 2 teams that are looking to get in the playoffs as well. So it's going to be tough games, but they have a lot of potential to do it. And I do like the game setup that we had last game, and I think and hope that if we keep that this game, we'll have a fighting chance.
Charlie, it seems to me like their first matchup on Friday would be the easier of the 2. Let me throw out a couple stats at you real quick.
Alrighty.
So MSU Denver has outscored their opponent 16-11. Not a huge differential, especially when we take into account their last game against Black Hill State. They outscored the Yellow Jackets 6-1.
That's a big win.
Right. So almost that entire differential on the season came in their last game, which tells me that they're almost 50-50 in terms of goals scored versus goals allowed. And so in that regard, I think the Mountain Lions have a really good chance going into tomorrow to outscore the Roadrunners, especially given that they have been playing much better in the last few weeks. What are your thoughts giving that information and the overall state of the team?
Well, we talked about men's soccer, and this weekend for them is going to be all about defense. And defense. For the women's soccer team, I feel like it's going to have to be more offense. And Michaela Mansfield is playing out of her mind right now. That RMAC preseason player of the year, we've talked about it, as soon as that hat trick she had against Western State, she has just been on a tear. But I think everyone has to get involved, and I feel like I say this a lot, but everyone really does have to get involved, especially coming down the end of this season where MSU Denver and Regis knows Michaela Mansfield will likely have the ball on her foot going to the goal. You have to have Bailey Jamison, Lo Vivleka, Dana Shellhorn cutting with her so Mansfield can get off that assist and really put someone else in that scoring opportunity. So I really think both these games are going to be about offense. And with our defense, they have been better. They've been actually a lot better, especially against that CCU game. We had 2 goalkeepers, Grace Ramson and Dorothy Bertosen. Both of them played excellent against CCU in that 3-3 tie. So I think everyone is finding their stride, and like you said, a lot of things have been changing, and I think right now they're getting used to what position they're playing. So it's definitely be a fun one, but offense is going to be the factor. We got to score a lot of goals this weekend.
And if we get into the dance, Charlie, it's anybody's to win because we have the preseason player of the year, as you mentioned, in Michaela Mansfield. So if we get into that tournament, I don't think any team can take the Mountain Lions lightly with knowing the talent that's on that team.
And with the Mountain Lions and the playoffs and the RMAC tournament, they always step up their game. Everyone steps up their game, but I really think the women's soccer team steps it up even more. Last year they got their first RMAC tournament win at home, then went to Colorado Mines, fortunately got the loss there, but they played excellent on that second round. So definitely a fun one to watch, and if they do get into the dance, I would not take them lightly. Like we always say in the RMAC, anyone can beat anyone.
Yeah. That's right. Any given Sunday.
Yeah, and something I really like that we've seen, especially in the past couple of weeks, is we still have rising stars coming up out of the soccer team. You got Bethany Littlefield, you got Jules Escobedo, you got Jenny Allensbach. Chrissy Collins has had a couple great games. I think there's just more and more players that keep showing up and wanting to play the game. I think as they know as the season's starting to end, they're upset. They're ready to go. They want to get the wins. They want to get in. Even if they make the playoffs, they can say, all right, the season's over. Now let's
It's 0-0.
It's a
0-0.
new season that starts.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what they're fighting for. I think that's what they're scratching for right now at the cusp of getting in the playoffs. So that's one thing I do really like, is that there's still players that keep popping up out of nowhere having great games.
Absolutely.
And I think Bethany Littlefield really captures that role excellent, is coming in as that second scoring threat. And it could be, anyone, any night, but Bethany Littlefield, like you have been saying, she has been on a tear. And coming into last season, she was a defender. She really never got any shots off. So coming into this year, a new role, and she's doing very well at that role.
Right.
Well, and our very own Alexandra Zinder met up with Bethany Littlefield to talk about that last game and preview a little bit about what's coming up. If you want to check out that video, go to GoMountainLions.com, as the full video is on there for your viewing pleasure. Be sure to check that out and all the other great content we have there on GoMountainLions.com. But we do have more to cover here on the Lions Den. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to preview the UCCS volleyball games coming up, because they're also entering that final stretch of regular season with 8 matches remaining, 6 opponents left on the schedule, looking to make that playoff push and get some good seedings going into the tournament. We'll preview those matchups coming up right after this.
At the University of Colorado, we make quality education accessible to everyone. We award more undergraduate, graduate, and professional degrees than any other university in the state. We reimagine the way communities are designed, and we help people throughout Colorado to be healthier. We are 4 campuses, united in making a difference. At the University of Colorado, we make quality education accessible to everyone. We award more undergraduate, graduate, and professional degrees than any other university in the state. We reimagine the way communities are designed, and we help people throughout Colorado to be healthier. We are 4 campuses, united in making a difference. At the University of Colorado, we award more than 15,000 degrees each year. We've developed nearly 2,000 bioscience innovations. Our community programs serve more than 1 million people in Colorado. Our research has created over 150 companies, and we've partnered on more than 75 space missions. We are 4 campuses, united in making a difference.
We have so much to celebrate in Division II, but we're especially proud of our commitment to Make-A-Wish.
Division II student athletes have led a 10-year initiative to raise funds and help grant wishes of children with life-threatening medical conditions.
Nearly $3 million have been raised, and hundreds of children's wishes have been granted. We play hard, we work hard, and we support others in need. Why? It's simple.
Because we care.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, you're tuned in to the Lions Den, official source of UCCS Sports. We've been talking all show so far about the importance of this weekend's upcoming games. And it's that time of the season where every game is important, as every team is nearing towards the end of the regular season, looking to make that push towards the playoffs. And your UCCS volleyball team is no exception. 8 matches remaining in the regular season against 6 different opponents. And this weekend might be the toughest weekend of the remaining schedule, as tomorrow night they're going to open things up against Colorado Christian, who sits right above them in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. Colorado Christian came in with a 7-game winning streak up until last weekend, where they went 0-2. So Mountain Lions looking to keep them on that same side of the losing bracket. But again, big matches coming in. Charlie, you're the broadcast for all of those games, our play-by-play broadcaster. You've been watching the team, traveling with the team. You'll be with the team tomorrow. Real quick, the Cougars coming in 14-7 overall, 6-4. That 6-4 record in the conference is the same record as the Mountain Lions.
Yeah.
So that's a big game for UCCS tomorrow night, a huge matchup to help us propel ahead in the standings. What's your take and what are your thoughts going into tomorrow's matchup?
You know, I got a chance to talk to Chrissy Elder, and we'll play that in a little bit, but I asked, is there any pressure on this, more pressure, that since Colorado Christian is tied with UCCS at 6-4, and she said, you know, it's another game, but there is. They would like to have that tiebreaker just in case playoffs start and they would have the seed over. But with this one, they're coming in on a 3-game winning streak against, and last weekend went 2-0 on the road, so big weekend there, but this is probably the biggest weekend for the Mountain Lions, as next week they'll be back at home, and then the next 2 weeks after that, they finish the season on the road. So if you can get these games at home with your crowd, sleeping in your own bed, on your own schedule, those will probably help in the long run more than being on the road. So definitely be a fun one. I expect a lot of players to step up, as we saw a different players stepping up, and every player played against New Mexico Highlands that traveled with the team. So that was a lot of fun to watch. Kenzie Mitchell got some crucial points and some crucial kills in that 4th set. Yeah. So I expect a lot of players to be stepping up, but I expect the players that we've been talking about this whole season really to step their game up even more. And with Morgan Evans, I can't imagine her stepping her game up even more, because she is doing a lot, but I can imagine her doing a little bit more of the kills and the blocks. I mean, she's already averaging about 1.62 kills per game, but she could average 2-3 kills this weekend. It'd be excellent for the Mountain Lions.
Well, I think that's going to be an interesting matchup to keep an eye on tomorrow night against the Cougars, the matchup of the setters, because Morgan Evans, we've been talking all season long about her continuing to climb the ranks. If she plays at the rate she's been playing, she should finish in 3rd all-time in program history for assists. On the Cougar side of things, it's number 18, Kylie Worcester, with a little over 10.5 assists per set. So that's a great matchup, I think, to keep an eye on. But my money would be on Morgan Evans, because she does a little bit more. As you mentioned, she also sneaks some in on 2 for the kills. You always see her battling at the net for the blocks, and she can serve it as well. She's never taken out during the serve. I mean, she's our primary setter, so she's in almost all the time. But Spencer, what's your take going into tomorrow's matchup against the Cougars?
I have to agree. I mean, Morgan is so versatile in the way that she plays her game. But I think we talk about that a lot with all of our players, how versatile they are. Not only, is Taylor Hamilton there for the kill, but she's there, for a dig if we need to. Morgan Evans and Natasha Haber is having a heyday the last couple games that she's been doing.
Haybert with a heyday, I like it.
With a heyday, there you go. But I expect tomorrow to be a great game. I think that they can. I think they'll push through. But we always keep talking about finishing out. And I think that if they can get that push, finish out, get under their belt, will be good. But I think tomorrow we have played a lot of 4 sets, 5-set games. I'd like to see a three sweep them tomorrow.
I think the ladies would like to see that too.
I think they would too. And I think being at home, having that fire under their shoulder, knowing that they need this for a tiebreaker, I think they'll do it. I think that they can.
I think it's going to be tough. Again, a couple other notable names to keep an eye out on. Number 5, Sofia Perano, 3.7 kills per set, hitting 294. Her hitting percent's pretty solid with 57 blocks on the season, so she does a little bit of everything. And then the big one to look out for on the Cougars side there is number 10, Hope Balderica, 88 blocks so far this season, averaging 1.13 blocks per set. So we know we're going to be battling at the net. I anticipate that there's going to be a lot of walls going up there at the net. The Mountain Lions are going to have to figure a way to get around the wall, throw up some decoys, and really try to trick the Cougars so they can find some openings.
Well, I mean, we haven't even talked about our leading kill getter, our leading points, Alyssa Brinton.
She's playing phenomenally.
She is playing, you know, on that RMAC first team, second team level. And the thing is, she's one of those quiet players that gets her kills, and also another versatile player, averages about three digs per set. So they definitely attack her in the back, and it's interesting to see that aspect too, that all these girls can do a lot of things. But Alyssa Brinton, she will definitely be matched up against Balderica, and it's going to be 2-3 blockers coming at Alyssa Brinton probably the whole night.
Well, we mentioned the importance of tomorrow night's matchup in terms of the standing. That might not even be the toughest matchup of the weekend, though, because they're also going to face the likes of Colorado Mines, who is a very tough team, coming into that matchup on Saturday with an overall record of 15-4, only losing one time all season in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference, coming in with a conference record of 9-1. That's going to be a tough matchup. A couple of key players there to look out for. Number 2, Elena Winfield, 3.7 kills per set, hitting just under 300 with her percent and 54 blocks. So that's going to be the key player, I think, number 2, to keep an eye out on. Number 1, Ellie Monarch, just under 3 kills per set and a team-high 56 blocks. And then number 7, Taryn Huber with 5.4 digs per set. I like Natasha Habert with that dig matchup, though. The defensive specialist matchup, I think the Mountain Lions have the advantage. Colorado Mines also comes in identifying with 2 premier setters. They tend to have 2 that they go with, where we established it's Morgan Evans who really runs the show for the Mountain Lions. So real quick, Charlie, what's your take? Because I know you're going to be calling the action on that game as well. Another crucial game. We can't overstate the importance of these weekend's games.
Well, tomorrow I'm calling that game with Mac Buckley alongside, so it'll be a lot of fun with him. But I think this weekend it's going to be a dogfight. It's really going to be a close matchup. Yes, it'd be nice to go 3-0, but with going into 5 sets, our UCCS volleyball team has been used to that. They went, I believe, 4 matches in a row going into 4 or 5 sets. So definitely a fun one. I think it'll be a dogfight, and this will really show how much heart UCCS, CCU, and Colorado Mines has altogether.
Absolutely. Well, Charlie, you met up with head coach Chrissy Elder to preview these matchups. So let's go ahead and cut to that interview with head coach Chrissy Elder of your UCCS volleyball team.
Charlie Botnick here with UCCS Athletics, here with head coach Chrissy Elder of the UCCS volleyball team. Now, Coach, after going 2-0 this weekend and having this week of practice, what do you guys have been working on, and what did you review from this weekend?
We've given them a little bit of rest. That's part of that season where they're just worn out and a little tired. And today we had a pretty good practice. So, we're going to keep continuing to work on the things that we need to work on, our offense, our defense, stuff like that.
And a big weekend. First off, playing at Colorado Christian University. Right now they are tied 6-4 in the conference with UCCS at 6-4 in the conference. So really, how big is this game?
This is a big game for us, mainly because this is our tiebreaker game. We only play them once this season. So if we wind up staying tied at the end of the season, we want to be able to say we own the tiebreaker for this game, for sure.
And this is really the first playoff atmosphere game that you guys have this season. Is that going to be any more pressure for the girls on this game?
No, I don't think so. I think as long as we continue to do what we're supposed to do and keep working towards our end goal, I think we're going to be okay.
And then Saturday, you have Colorado Mines, another top school in the RMAC. Really, what are you guys focusing on for them? And, a really tough opponent. So what are you really focusing on?
Same thing that we've been doing. I think if we take care of the ball on our side of the court, that's really all we can do. And they're a really good team. Both teams this weekend are very good teams. But if we focus on us, I think that it will be harder for them.
And talking about a little bit of this weekend, you guys played New Mexico Highlands and gave up that first set. And we've talked about before, closing out games. So what have you guys really been working on in practice to close out games and putting them in that type of situation?
That's what we're doing. We're putting them in situations where they have to make those decisions and really kind of play on the ropes. When we play straight 25-point games, it's not teaching them that the last 5 points are the most important. So that's what we've been doing, is putting them in situations where games to 5 are really, really important instead of a whole match or a whole set.
And all players who traveled played against New Mexico Highlands in that in one of those sets. So really, are you focusing on more of that team play and getting everyone in for this weekend, or what is the game plan for that?
We'll use whoever it's going to take, honestly. And the really cool thing about our team is that the last few weekends, it's taken the whole team, and each individual has stepped up. When one has struggled a little bit, somebody has really stepped up to help them out. So it's reassuring as a coach to know that we can just throw somebody in there and they're ready to go and they're competing just as hard as the other person.
And also with this weekend, really, what's going to be the X factor? What is going to be the thing that you guys focus on most, either blocking, serving? What's going to be that X factor?
I think it's going to be our whole game. With these two teams, it's going to take a full effort of offense and defense. It's just one of those things. It's going to take a lot of fight.
Well, there you have it. Head coach Christy Elder of the UCCS volleyball team taking on CCU and then Colorado Mines. Coach, great luck.
Thanks.
Great luck.
And of course, that was your very own Charlie Bang Bang Botnick, the voice of your UCCS volleyball team, meeting up with head coach Chrissy Elder, who I also want to add was a part of the Student Spotlight segments that we recorded this past week for class. Unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties and we're not able to play our Student Spotlight segment today, but I promise you there's a lot more coming, and there are some fantastic productions by your UCCS students here on campus. This past week we had head coach Chrissy Elder, we had head coach of the men's basketball team Jeff Culver, we had Molly Klotz and Jake McAllister, both great student athletes here at UCCS. So we're going to be playing those a little bit more in the upcoming weeks. But we also want to talk real briefly a little bit more about last night's event, Mountain Lion Madness, because essentially what Mountain Lion Madness is and was a way to introduce the UCCS basketball teams to the Mountain Lion faithful, to the UCCS student body, which we definitely did last night. It was a whole lot of fun. Great prizes were won. Great times were had by all. We got a quick clip from last night. It's your UCCS men's basketball team having a little bit of fun during their introductions. There they are, a bunch of clowns. Those guys just having a great time, but so much personality on the men's basketball team. That was a lot of fun to watch, to witness. They had some dances going on. So as they're giving us their very best, we're going to preview real quickly some of the important games on their schedule. They're going to open up the schedule or the season on 11-11. So make a wish that we win that one against Texas Permian Basin. They're in Texas. They'll be at CSU Pueblo on November 18th, so the following week. And then the home opener, fellas, it seems like it's a long time away, but it is just a few weeks down the road on the schedule on November 28th, right behind us in the Gallagly Event Center. It's going to be a great local game as we host Colorado College. Right down the road from UCCS. I'm so used to CC being Colorado Christian, but Colorado College comes into the Gallagly Event Center there on November 28th. So that's going to be a great game at 7:30. Can't wait for that one. A couple other notable games. Hosting MSU Denver, we know the recent rivalry that we've had with the Roadrunners. That's who we beat to win the conference championship a couple years ago at their home. So great rivalry brewing there. That's going to be when we come back from winter break on January 24th. And then another notable stretch there, they're going to have a 5-game homestand starting on December 16th as we begin winter break. And the first game there is going to be against CC, the other one, Colorado Christian. So real quick, Charlie, you're going to be calling some of those games, or most of those games, if not all the games. What's your thought on the men's basketball team as a whole? Maybe talk about last night, them being introduced, whatever you want to go.
Well, with last night, we got to see more of the players that, a couple players that the crowd really doesn't know. And those are the transfers, the freshmen, and just talking a little bit about the dunk contest, you had 3 of those players who haven't seen a Mountain Lion game yet. You had Justin Smith, Will Ross, and Padilla, last name, Wang, and all 3 of them could throw down some dunks, but with that, Justin Smith ended up winning, and I think a lot of people are counting out the Mountain Lions this season, losing our 3 top scorers, but I believe Justin Smith, this transfer, he's going to have a bright future as a Mountain Lion. So definitely got to see a lot of athleticism from that dunk contest.
Spencer, let me run through real quickly the women's schedule, a couple notable names, and then I want to get your thoughts real quick before we end our broadcast as well. But they'll open the season also on 11/11. Another wish to get that win as they will play Newman in Wichita, Kansas. The women's team will participate in the CSU Pueblo Thanksgiving Classic a couple days after Thanksgiving, the day after. And then conference and home opener on December 2nd against Black Hill State. Also with a 5-game homestand in the midst of all that. What was your take on last night's event or the women's basketball scene as a whole?
I think just having all the teams there at that time, it was just a time for them to have fun. Right now before the season gets heavy. Once the season starts, it's all work. It's their job to go out there and win games. But you know what? I think this season's going to be awesome, especially for the women's. We only lost 2 seniors last year. We have the RMAC Player of the Year. We have some seniors stepping up this year that are going to make some noise. So I'm actually really excited for the women's team as well as the men's team. We have some great players that are going to step up. So I'm just ready for basketball season to get started. We're ready. We kind of are going to be following up here. Seeing a lot of our teams from the fall, trying to advance in the playoffs, and they'll overlap a little bit probably, but still I'm excited for a good basketball season coming up too.
That's right, crossover season is right around the corner. It's one of the most exciting and busy times of the entire year, but can't wait for it to happen. Fellas, though, before basketball starts, we got a lot more.
We have
soccer, volleyball,
That's
cross
right.
country, golf. We
So
got a lot
how do
of
we
things.
like to end every show, fellas?
What? I can't do
What
it.
to watch for?
I can't do
What
it.
to watch for?
That's better.
That's good.
One more
better.
time, 3rd time's a charm.
What to watch
There it is, the what to watch for. Tomorrow night, both of your UCCS soccer teams are going to be in action. The men against Westminster at 3 p.m. and then the women's team against MSU Denver at 5. Your volleyball team also in action against Colorado Christian at 7. On Saturday, we got the UCCS Cross Country RMAC Championships in Spearfish, South Dakota. Don't exactly know who is or not going to be participating there, but we will have the full results for you on our Monday show. And then volleyball in action on Saturday night against Colorado Mines at 5. Sunday, we close out the weekend with 2 more soccer matches, some big ones, as the women will play Regis at noon and the men will play Colorado Mesa at 1. We certainly will be back with you here on Monday for all the recap and let you know exactly what happened with your Mountain Lions. But unfortunately, our time is up once again. We will be back on Monday with a whole lot more right here on the Lions Den. Until then, though,
Go Mountain Lions!